Okay, I am going to go ahead and get this started. Okay, I'm recording this, so I'll be able to post it later if anybody on your team could not get on. But I'm so excited to have Chrissy on this Zoom and just to kind of tag team with her, giving our best tips about leadership. And so if you're on here, you were invited by your leader because they think that you are a great leader or you have the capabilities of being a great leader. And we wanted to get on here and just share our best tips with you on how we got to where we are, some of the things that we think will help you the most in promoting and getting your business to where you want it to be. So I'm basically just going to tell my story. Chrissy's going to tell hers, and we're just going to have a basic like rant rap girl chat here. That's what we wanted to call it, of just vomiting our best tips on y'all. So I'm Cheyenne Knox. I am a double diamond leader. I am 19, full-time college student. I joined this business in high school, promoted to diamond 3 days after I graduated high school. And I'm still going for triple. And I just basically work this business through a busy schedule. I'm on my summer break now, so I've been able to work my business a lot more consistently than when I was in school, but I've been in this for a little over a year, so it's almost a year and a half next month, which is so crazy, and so I'm just really excited to share some tips with y'all on how I got here and some of the best things that I think have helped me, and I really hope that this helps y'all. So if Chrissy, if you want to just give a short little story here, let me see if you can unmute yourself. I unmuted you. Is that good?
Can you hear me now? You can hear me now?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah. Okay. So hi guys, I'm Chrissy. I'm a double diamond also. I live in Connecticut. I'm 26 years old. I've been in the business for like 2.5 years this month actually. So yeah, it's obviously I've been in there just a smidge longer than Cheyenne. It took me a little bit longer to like get my brain together. I was a little lazy in the beginning of my business, which is why the Zoom is so important, because I literally know how to slack and I know how to work hard, and that's pretty much it. Like I don't know an in between. So I can tell you literally how to pull yourself out of like the deepest, darkest hole ever. Before I joined, just real quick, just for some backstory. I was full-time in my master's program, and I was working full-time literally 60 to 80 hours a week. I was working literally nonstop. I never got a break. My commute was like an hour to work and home. It was terrible. I was working so much. I had a boyfriend who lived about 3 hours away from me, so I could literally only see him on the weekends, and he worked weekends. Like it was freaking terrible. It was just a terrible situation. I just found myself like working so much and not bringing anything home. Like after my bills were paid, I literally had nothing left. And I was like, who the heck works this much to literally like have no money after? Like, what is the point of even working? I'd have the same amount of money if I wasn't even working. So that's why I pursued my master's. And I thought I was going to like get this, amazing big girl job and all these things. So that was just like part of my plan. And then I saw my upline posting all this kind of stuff on Instagram. I knew she was a real person because she went to high school with my boyfriend. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just try. I have literally nothing to lose. I spend more money at Target. So might as well just try. So when I joined, I figured if I was going to join something, like I'm kind of a perfectionist. I want to work hard. I want to make sure I'm as successful as I possibly can be. So right in the beginning, I was so excited. I just got to work. I didn't know what I was talking about. Never tried a product. I didn't know what I was doing. Literally ignorance on fire. Just working and talking to as many people as I possibly could in between, school, working, traveling, being a dog mom, all these things. So the main goal was to just get an apartment with my boyfriend, and I was able to do that in about 10 months. That following, during all this time, this first basically like year of my business, it was kind of like I promoted to Ruby and then nothing happened. Like I was just lazy. I kind of just thought I wasn't worth more than like a Ruby paycheck. I was so pumped for my Ruby paychecks every month. I was like, cool, I literally haven't paid for my car at all. Like it's literally just been it was paying for my car. It was amazing. And then, leaders started kind of falling off, and, the loyal customers start drying up a little bit. And then I just kind of found myself like back at square one, $30 paychecks. That's it. Right around the time where I had graduated from my master's, decided I was going to like pursue this big girl job I was so excited for. I just wanted to wear a pantsuit. I don't know what was wrong with me. So weird. So I don't know. I just thought that it was going to be this glamorous like lifestyle, and I was going to, you know, whatever, have an office and all these just like stupid things that like people make seem so great, but they're like actually like you'd rather be in jail. So I'm sitting behind my desk. It is the sixth day of my job. Literally just started the sixth day, and I was like, this is horrible. I was crying on my way to work. I was crying on my way home from work. I was crying on my break in the TJ Maxx parking lot. I wasn't making any more money at this job than I was making at the daycare that I was slaving away at. So I was like, what am I doing? Like, I wasted so much time getting my master's. So negative. I just hated my situation, but it's like I wasn't willing to do anything to change it. Like, I just wasn't all there. So I finally said, like, look, I have this option. I have it works. Like, I know what to do. I just need to do it. So I reached out to my upline. I said, listen, this is what's going down. I'm going diamond and I'm quitting this job. And she said, okay. And then the next day I went to work and I said, okay, just kidding. I can't wait to go diamond. I need to leave this job now because it's horrible. So I left and I just got to work. And since then I went emerald, diamond last summer, and then double in January. And yeah, just from being consistent and changing my mindset and, you know, doing a few really super simple things that like anyone can do. I'm like not a unicorn by any means. I just like pulled my head out of my butt. That's literally it. That's all it takes. So yeah, that's basically my story in a lump sum.
Love you. I love that you never apologize to your boss for leaving, and that's something you have to do before you go back.
I know. It's holding me back.
Yeah. Okay. So the very first thing, like out of the gate, that I want to talk about is mindset. Because you cannot be a successful person in this business. You can't be a successful leader. You can't train a team. You can't get new distributors if your mindset is crappy. And that's just the way it is. So I like that we have this different perspective where Chrissy didn't work her business for a long time and had a really crappy mindset about this business. And then something happened, switched it around. And I'm excited for her to talk about how she did that, because I know that as a leader, some people go through that, some people don't. Some people go through that for a really long time and then they whack out of it and all of a sudden they're a double diamond like Chrissy. And some people like me, I've never stopped working my business from the time I started. I went really quickly, and then it happened to me afterwards where I was like, am I one hit wonder? Like, am I supposed to be in this business? So it's crazy because everybody's situation is different. So I want to just do an across the board mindset talk with y'all. Because you're all in this Zoom because you're a potential leader, you're a leader, you're rocking out your business, and you feel your leader felt like you should be on this, or you've earned that spot to be on a leader Zoom where you need that kind of training. So basically, I think what my biggest turnaround moment was just realizing how freaking simple this business was. And instead of overcomplicating it every single day and saying, wow, this is so hard, nobody wants these products, I can't get anybody to sign up, there's people signing up 60 customers and I'm signing up 6.5 a year, what's wrong with me? So there's so many things that, I mean, everyone will say like this business is such a mind game. Like you'll wake up one day and you're like, I'm awesome. I'm going to be ambassador tomorrow. I'm going to make a $20,000 paycheck. I'm making $5,000 in fast starts. And the next day you could wake up and you're like, this isn't for me. Canceling my e-suite. I'm not worth it. Like it's literally just such a mind game. So I think figuring out, having a chat with yourself and just saying, okay, what do I feel like I'm worth? What do I know my capabilities are? So something that helped me a lot is I'm a very visual person. So with me writing down my goals every single day, writing them down on papers, writing them down on the front of my binders, making little affirmation sheets that I read to myself, writing Post-it notes everywhere on my bathroom windows, whatever it took for me to see, okay, I'm worth this. I know I can do this. And not comparing yourself to others, but just saying, okay, this girl did it, so I can do it. And having that mindset talk with yourself every single day and saying, you know what? I'm a leader. I'm where I am because I worked my ass off to get here. And I know that I'm capable of doing so many great things. And just, you know, having that chat with yourself, like I said at the beginning, it's just making sure you know, okay, I'm going for this goal. I'm doing this no matter the ups and downs that go between this, because I always compare this business to your life. So in life, nothing comes easy. Nothing is perfect. Everything is a up and down show all the time. And that's what this business is going to be. Some days you're going to wake up, you're going to roll 14 customers and they all came to you and it was the easiest thing in the world. And then some weeks you could go without signing up anybody. And that's not you. That's not your fault. As long as you know that you're working your business consistently and you're doing those daily non-negotiable things, this is a business and it's sales. It's not going to be like you going to work at Target and being a cash register person and making $8 an hour. You control what you make, and it's all sales. It's all different. It's all going to be up and down, and your mind is going to go up and down, but it's just important that you try to keep your mind as constant as you can. Watching those personal development videos, making sure that you're keeping your mind right and knowing, okay, it's okay that I didn't enroll any customers today because I'm going to enroll 5 tomorrow. And if you don't enroll 5 tomorrow, as long as you're doing your business and you're working how you should be doing, those customers are going to fall into place. So I remember when I went diamond in May of last year. I couldn't mix all the months in one. Went diamond. That happened. It was the hardest promotion of my life. I felt like it took every bit of energy that I had. And on June 1st, I woke up and I was like, how in the hell am I supposed to do that again, but that much worse for a bigger promotion? Like, I got all in my mind and I was like, there's no way that I can do anything else. And with being so young, I just had this whole mindset. I was like, you know what? Like, how am I ever going to go ambassador? You see all these huge goals, and there's nothing in my life that I could have ever imagined that would give me this much money. So like the idea of making more than $2,000 a month was like, I'm not capable of that at 18. That's just the way that I was thinking. And then I started working and I was going and my team kept falling apart and the leaders would quit. And my volume was going down. I lost rank, plummeted, lost rank all the way down to executive. I was like, oh, whoa, $2,000 to $300. This is not cool. And it was so hard on me. It was hard on my team. I stopped being the leader that I should have been just because I didn't think that this was for me anymore. I was like, oh, well, I got to diamond and now I can't even freaking make a higher paycheck than $312. What is this? And it was just like a constant mind thing. And so from, when was that? I lost rank September to January. I was making $300 and balling on fast starts. And it was hard. It was so hard on my mind. It was so hard on knowing, like, how am I going to get from going diamond, not maintaining diamond, to go double? I don't know how it's going to happen. But I remember in January when everyone's like, oh, boom season, boom season. And when I joined the first time in boom season, I didn't even know what I was doing because boom season, I was ignorance on fire during that time. I didn't even know that boom season was a thing. So once I got to go through it this year, I was like, you know what, Cheyenne, like, you're not maintaining diamond, but you're going to go double. My volume in January was 3,000, almost 4,000. Like, what? And then in March, when I went double, it was 18,900 in a matter of 2 months. And it was because I changed my mind. I was like, you know what? You went diamond, you did this, you're going to do this. And I just hyped myself up all the time. I was like, there's no way that you're not going to go double with double. And I put my blinders on and got to work. I lived at Carly's house. I skipped so much school. I failed a couple tests. I didn't do the things that I should have been doing because I was so focused on going double. I wanted nothing else. I was making sure that I was getting everything done that I was supposed to be doing. I was cramming as much as I could into those days. And I wish that I could figure out what it was that made me change my mind. But that's just the thing about it, is it has to be a decision on you. You have to decide what you're going to be doing, what your goals are, and when you're just going to sit down and say, you know what, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing it. There's nothing getting in between that. I'm going with my team. I'm giving my team these goals, and just being that leader that you know that you can be, and putting it out there to where you're like, okay, I'm ready, going all in. I know this promotion is not going to promote itself, and I have to do it myself. And the moment I just started focusing on myself and my team and making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to be doing every single day, and I stopped throwing a pity party, because pity parties get you nowhere, but throwing a pity party, they don't accomplish anything. So like, don't do it. Don't waste your time. And just figure out what your goal is, what you're doing, make a game plan, and get over yourself. That's like the biggest thing that I have, is just saying, get over yourself, because you can sit there and cry about the customers that told you no, or the people that quit, or the legs you have to completely redo because they quit working. Everything that happens on that roller coaster of getting to a promotion happens for a reason, because sometimes those people aren't meant to be there. You got to pray them in, pray them out, and you have to pray for yourself and know that those goals are going to happen as long as you keep your mindset right. So, Chrissy, I want to hear your story on basically going from not working your business to working it and going double.
Okay, so I'm still unmuted, right? Okay, so you guys, where do I start? Okay, so when you're in this business for a year and you worked it really hard, your first 1, 2, 3, 4 months, will be nice and say I worked it hard for 4 months, but whatever. It was kind of like a hobby after the second or third month. you have a decent, you've got a decent team. You've got like a couple people below you. You've got pretty good. I want to say my volume was like 4,000 something, like as a Ruby, it was like cool. I was really excited because, like I said, I was working a lot and in school too. So any extra money, especially money that I was making from my phone, I was just pumped about. Like, I didn't see this as, I saw me being in it for life, but I didn't see it as my only job, if that makes sense. Like, I always felt like I was supposed to be in some, I don't know, I just had this weird imagination of me like being in like a corporate setting. I have no idea why. But so I never saw it as, full-time income. So I wasn't working my business to like generate a full-time income. And it was literally just one thing my upline had said to me that day when I like sort of hit my breaking point, and I was like, my boss is so mean. He said some of the meanest things to me that I've never been talked down to like that, because the job I was at previously I've been at for so long. So it's very respected. I worked very hard. I have a very strong work ethic with anything that I do. So when this guy started like ridiculing me, like saying things about my master's degree is going to get me nowhere types of things, and just like really nasty things to me, I was like, how can this person be so rude when I'm like, here, I'm working for you? So like I said, it was like kind of a train wreck. I was like crying all the time. I was trying to think of ways to like text my boyfriend, like, how do I like get out of like going back to work? Like, what can I come down with really quick in 20 minutes? Like just thinking of anything to not have to go back in there. And so when I texted my upline, I said, listen, I cannot do this. This is a sign from God that I'm not supposed to be behind this desk right now. I was meant to experience trauma like this at this job in order to push me out of this setting and get me out of my comfort zone and make me run towards something else. So I was like, it's got to be just it works. That has to be what is going to fix all my problems, because I wanted to always be home. I have so many goals with like paying things off and doing things for my parents and my family, like things that like a $50,000 salary a year job will not do for you until you are like 50 years old. And I just wasn't willing to wait that long for these things. So I said to my upline, I said, listen, I need to get out of this. Like, what is your advice for me? How do I go full time with It Works? Like, what does being full time with It Works do? Like, what do I have to do? How do I buy a car? Like, because I'm very green, so I like needed like all these details of like nice like plan. Like, okay, like so what do I need to be doing to do like to pay for my car every month? Like all these little things that I was just like, my anxiety and my type A was like making me go crazy. And she was like, okay, can you imagine if the time you spent at your full-time job, you took that time and focused on your business instead? So between the hours of 8 and 5 p.m., when you're at, sitting behind the desk crying, hating your life, imagine if those hours between 8 and 5 p.m. were dedicated to your business, where you would be right now if that had been what I had been doing for the last year. And I was like, well, I'd probably be Ambassador Diamond by now. And she was like, exactly. That's all you know exactly what you have to do. Obviously, because I got to Ruby somehow, like, I still was bringing in team members. I was bringing in customers. It wasn't a lot, but I was still bringing people in. I was posting. I was watching leaders post and learning how to talk and how to post and how to edit pictures and all these things. I was taking all this information in. I just wasn't putting the massive action behind it to like see any real results. So she kind of like gave me a reality check and was like, you won't even need to be worrying about, like, I was so worried about like bills and having enough money and getting car, like things that whatever I didn't even need, that she was like, if you work your business hard enough, you won't even need to think about those things, because the money's just going to be there. It's just going to be there. I don't think about these things, so you definitely won't have to either. And she told me, you know what you have to do, you just have to do it. So I said, okay. So the green in me went home, counted up like all my savings, and was like, okay, so I have enough money. Literally, this is what I did. I have enough money to get me through July and August, because it was June. It was like a year ago, a few days ago, that I had left that job. I said, okay, I have enough money to get me through July and August. If I'm not Diamond by August, I'll go back to work. But like, I knew in the back of my mind, like, no shot in what am I going back to work? So I was just not willing to make anything an excuse. Like, I had to get this done, because if I didn't, I was going to have to go back to work, and I knew I was not doing that. So I did not make excuses. I put everything to the side. Wherever I went, everything about my life, about my mindset, about everything that I was doing was 100% focused on my business, and that was it, because that was what I needed at that time. So literally, when I walked out of my job actually on my lunch break. Like, I didn't even like quit at the end of the day. Like, I walked out Wednesday lunchtime and didn't go back. And I went, my boyfriend said, come meet me for lunch and we'll celebrate. And I was like, okay. And then as soon as I got to lunch, I was like, can't talk. Like, literally, like, signed 3 loyal customers at that table, which was the most I had signed in a month, in several months, like at least 6 months. I did it right there at the table, because I knew exactly what I had to do. I just had to do it. Like, that was literally it. When I got home, I got a chart out, because you guys, like, you cannot do these things without having a plan. Like, you need to know how far you are away from your promotions. Otherwise, you're not going to know what to do or where to start, and you're going to be scatterbrained. And being scatterbrained and not knowing where to do equals you're not going to do anything. Like, that's just what happens. I have too many thoughts, too many things going on in my head. I don't know what direction to go in. So I'm just going to freak out and not do anything. Like, that's literally what happened. So have a plan. I went home. My chart was Swiss cheese, because I, like, enrolled people over the past year, but I wasn't being a leader. So, like, there was hardly anyone working on my chart. I found the two people who were working on my chart, and I said, okay, this one's going to be my emerald, this one's going to be my ruby to go diamond. And I just started to work with them. I just went to them and I was like, listen, like, we're just doing this. So, like, do you want to go ruby in July? Homegirl was like, yeah, Avi. So I'm like, okay, let's do it. So that's literally just what we did. Like, we just had a plan. We knew exactly where to place distributors. We knew exactly where volume was going. We knew exactly when we needed distributors, when we needed loyal customers, when we needed to take 5 minutes to breathe. But just putting in that massive action to get where you want to go. You don't need to sit and think about how. You don't need to sit and think about how you're going to pay your bills, how you're going to enroll all these people that you need. I thought about it for 5 minutes too long when I was sitting behind that desk asking my upline, how am I going to do all these things? Because I went and bought a car the next month anyway. Like, things just happen. All these things I was worried about, they're just going to happen when you're putting in the work. Like, the universe, God, whatever you believe in, they see the sleepless nights. They see the hard work you're putting in. They see you, like, up at 2 a.m. when everyone else is asleep, still working. And you get rewarded for that. Like, with your when your mindset matches your efforts, you get rewarded for that. And I don't even know how. I can't even explain how. I'll give you an example, because it's freaking magic. So when I was going diamond in August, working really hard with my emerald, because I needed her to obviously go emerald so I could go diamond. So we were working really hard together. And there was somebody on her chart who was an empty 400 box with no volume underneath there. And we were like, okay, like, this, whatever. We were just filling people by people, and we're counting up volume every day, and we're crossing off volume, and we're doing all these things. And then one day we went to check this person's volume and count up volume. Person randomly had 396 GV under them. No idea where it came from. This person had never worked. We were like, what is happening? Like, things, unexplainable things just start to happen when you have set goals, when you're putting in the effort, when you're working harder than anyone else is in the room. Things just start to work out for you. And it's just important to, like, never waste time slacking off or questioning how things are going to happen. You just have to, like Shay said, like, literally just get over yourself. If you want something, go do it. You're in full control. If you're making excuses, you're literally just giving yourself the easy way out, and you're literally just giving yourself a reason to settle. And nobody should do that. Why should we do that? Like, I hated working behind a desk. I hated working, period. So I was like, I'm not about to make excuses. Like, I need to work to make money when I hate working, but I want money. So it's like, there's always a solution somewhere. You just have to be willing to make the changes, even though sometimes they're scary. You just got to be willing to make the changes in order to see the results, if that makes sense.
I love that. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was just leader responsibilities. So understanding that with being a leader, and I've always said this since I got started, is the moment you click the proceed button, to join as a distributor, you became a leader that day, because you were that person that was going to allow people to join you, and people were going to be joining your team that could have happened the next day after you got started. So it's a learning experience every single day being a leader. I learn new things about myself, about my team, about how to be a better person, a better distributor, a better leader, and learning new things every day. And I think that's a big part in being a leader, is just adaptability. So being able to understand what your responsibilities are, or where you need to start in growing and teaching your team. So if you are doing these things every single day and you're not sharing them with your team, Chubbs, shh. Sorry. If you're not sharing with your team what you're doing that's working, if you're doing all of these things and you're enrolling, but you're not teaching your team how to enroll, or you're charting and you're doing all these things for them and you're having conversations and you're sending them all the replies and you're not teaching them how to be a distributor and how to be a good leader, it's going to be you all the time pulling the reins for everybody. And this is something that Courtney had to teach me a long way back, because I have to be in control of everything. And I remember, I'm pretty sure it was when like the $49 deal happened. It was like the first time where I was like, I have no control of my team. Everybody's enrolling. They're texting me saying, what do I do? And I'm like, who did you enroll under? And they're like, I enrolled under this person. And then I don't know who that person is. And I literally feel like I was losing my mind, because I didn't teach anyone else on my team how to be a leader, because I was too busy controlling everything that was happening, because I wanted to be in control of every single person that was joining my team and making sure that they were trained right when I had to let go. So responsibilities, laying out what you need to be doing every single day. So you need to be the mass enroller on your team. You need to be the highest enroller, the hardest working distributor, the person that stays up the latest, gets up the earliest, shows up on the Zooms, shows up for your team, no matter the situation. So there are times where, like, doing Zooms every single time, you need to be on the Zooms. If you are going to be on the Zooms, you can't expect, if you're not going to be on them, you can't expect your team to be on them. If you aren't enrolling, you can't expect your team to be enrolling. If you're not posting, you can't expect your team to be posting. And I remember that after I lost rank, I was so angry, because I was like, why is my team not doing anything? Why aren't they posting? Why do they suck? And I was like sitting here blaming my team, and I wasn't even doing it. I wasn't enrolling. I wasn't posting. Like, I was copying and pasting everything. I posted every single day since I started, but they were not heartfelt. They were not life posts about me. They were copy and paste from like Alyssa Billieu and Cassie, because I didn't want to write my own. And I was just going through the motions. I was just not being the leader that I should have been. And I think the moment that I realized, okay, Cheyenne, you have to start teaching your team how to do replication and how to do this and how to do that. And that was when everything just took off and double happened. And now my team is just continuing to grow, because I am teaching my leaders how to be leaders. So stop being an angry leader and stop getting mad that your team is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, and sit back and look at yourself and say, you know what? Are you the highest enrolling person on your team? Are you the person that's staying up late and getting up early? Are you the person that is having those conversations and teaching your leaders how to be leaders? Are you the person that's being an angry leader right now and not teaching your team how to be a leader like you are and just expecting them to do it? You have to know that leadership is a natural quality, but it also can be taught. You can teach your team how to do this. So if they're struggling with enrolling, they're not having good conversations. So be a leader, step up and be like, hey, I want to teach you how to have good conversations. Like, send me a couple of your conversations and I'll help you get them done. Or if they're not posting right, you as a leader notice that, hey, you're not posting. Don't say your posts are horrible. Just go to them and be like, hey, like, I think you should post something like this. Give them a live post idea and just say, use this as a template and make your own. And eventually they will catch on. So when your team is sending you screenshots, don't necessarily just copy and paste and send the entire explanation to them. Just say like, hey, what do you think you should say? And train them in little ways like that, to where they become those leaders that you want them to be, rather than just expecting them to be. So that's one thing, is like, if you ever notice when you are enrolling and you are charting and you're on top of your game and you're being that leader that you know you should be, you can totally realize that your team is catching on to that. So when you're enrolling and you're getting that fire out, you can tell, like, there are times that I've been like in a bad mindset and I haven't been doing right, and you like, your team feels that, whether you think they do or not. Your team vibes off of what you're vibing. So if you're in a bitchy mood, or you're like really mad, or you're upset that you're not enrolling, or you're not getting customers like you should, your team feels that and they vibe off of that, and then they start feeling that and they stop enrolling and they don't work their business like they should because you are not. And I think it's so important to realize the influence that you have on your team, whether you know it or not. So even if you're an executive or you're a 400 box right now and you don't necessarily have a team under you just yet, or you are a diamond or you are a double, your actions and the way that you are working your business is a direct reflection of what your team is going to do. So you have to make sure that you are being the best distributor on your team and you are always on your A game, because if you give up, you're giving up on everybody below you. If you're not working and you're expecting your team to work, it's going to go the opposite direction and you're not going to be going up. You have to make sure that you're putting those goals out there every single day and you're reaching your goals so that your team can reach theirs. Because when you sit there and you're like, I don't really want to right now, you're not only giving up on yourself, you're giving up on your team. That, I mean, obviously you don't have to place under them and you don't have to build them. But when you're working and you're going to these goals and you're building your promotions, you're building your promotion and you're building theirs too. So I want you all to just, if you feel like that right now, if you're connecting to that on a personal level where you feel like you've been an angry leader or you're not necessarily teaching leadership and you're not teaching your team to become a leader, start focusing on little things like that. So if your team is sending you screenshots, don't give them every single word for word on what to say. Just like, what do you think you should say? Or if they're not reaching out to their team and training them or getting on Zooms, make sure that you're getting on Zooms. Do a little check on yourself and make sure that you're showing up as a leader. So Chrissy, if you want to go ahead and share your teams as just or your ideas and tips on leadership responsibilities and just things that you think really help with being a leader.
Okay, so this is something that I just think it's important to preach, especially to, you know, those new people. Okay, so if you are somebody who enrolls a lot of distributors, of loyal customers, of anything, you are going to have this sort of internal struggle with, where do I put these people? That's just always going to be a problem that you have, because being a master enroller is obviously a blessing. It's a choice, but like, you know, if you're there in that mindset and you believe and you truly enroll and you're a master enroller and you're all there, that's kind of the, you know, the downfall of it is where, you know, I'm enrolling all these people, where do they go? And how do I train them? And how do we get these people working? And basically, how do I duplicate myself? Because I know for me, I want to build a team entirely of me's. I just want me's all over my chart. And if you're not the type of person who you can't look at yourself and say, if my team was entirely me right now, would I be where I want to be? Then you need to get to be that person. You need to be the person who you want your entire team to be. Exactly what Shay was saying. Like, you have to be, you have to set the example, you have to set the tone, you have to set the pace for your entire team, because if you don't, they are going to trickle off and just fall away, okay? Because this is just exactly what happened to me. I've experienced this firsthand of joining, running, enrolling all these people, promoting, watching other people promote, announcing promotions, and then as soon as I slowed down, everyone under me slowed down too. And it's just the way that it goes. And it's not necessarily that they decide the business isn't for them or that they quit or do anything like that. It's just that they see their leaders slowing down, so they get this weird, like, subconscious permission that it's okay for me to slow down too, because my leader, the person that preached into me all of these things, is slowing down. So it must be okay for me to slow down too. I know also firsthand, I don't know if you guys like utilize Boom Chat, but with my team, we post enrollments, and every time someone gets an enrollment, we count up as a team together. And I noticed that on days where like some people aren't enrolling, people that usually are enrolling aren't enrolling, everyone else starts slowing down also. So it's just kind of like this domino effect that happens. You need, as a leader, as somebody who's training all these people on your team, as somebody who wants to duplicate themselves, you need to set the pace and the tone and the speed for your team, because if you don't, they're going to pick up on that and they are going to just follow your lead. So in like sort of piggybacking off of that is another thing that I just feel is like a good tip, especially for people who are trying to promote or like trying to change their mindset, trying to enroll more distributors, more loyal customers, more anything, just trying to like better themselves and just be a better distributor, is to just stop putting things off. Like, stop saying that you're going to do these things when you get somewhere, because you need to be doing these things in order to get where you want to go. So stop saying like, oh, well, I'll start, doing leadership Zooms for my team once I'm done. And like, who cares? If you want to be a leader and you want to build a strong team and you want to speak life into your distributors, go ahead. Who's stopping you? I'm sure your team would love to listen to you once a week, pour into them. I know there's leaders on my team that love my attention. So as for me, I'm not someone to sit and say like, maybe you shouldn't be doing something that you want to be doing until you get to somewhere, because I feel in order for people to get to where they want to go, they need to be doing things already. I know at least everyone who's diamond and above can speak for this. In order to promote to diamond, you need to be working like a diamond long before you go diamond. That's just the only way that it all comes together, because if you're not working like a diamond, you will never get to diamond. And that's the same for any single promotion. So just being conscious about like not putting things off and just not wasting time on things that isn't building your leadership, building your team, and setting a good example. Does that make sense?
Yes, love it. Okay, let me see what mine. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of go over some tips that have been working extremely well for me and that I've just like shared with my team that I want to share with y'all. So obviously most of y'all know that like host to post are my jam. That's how I went double. That's how I'm going triple. And I love host to post. So I want to share my tips with y'all that have been helping me get so many. And I just want to share about Captivate, that I like tips that I learned with that, and some other little things so Chrissy, you have some tips if you want to start thinking about those. I'm sure you already wrote them down. So the first thing with host to post is I changed up my script a lot, trying, obviously, like I say all the time, if it's not working, fix it, change it, do something different. So I start out with a post on social media, basically saying like, oh my gosh, I have so much free product. I'd love to give it out. Who wants it? Or the next 40 people to comment an emoji get some free product. Making just catchy post to post random things all the time, just switching them up. Some of them will work, some of them won't. The thing with host to post is you have to do a crap ton of them for them to work, but it's so worth it because the amount of potentials you get, the amount of seeds that you're planting, all of the in between. So just making sure that you're getting out as many host to posts as you can is how you're going to get mass results with it. So posting that. Then when people comment, I text them and I message them and I just say, hey, you want some free product? That's all I say. They message me back. I say, perfect, girl. What's your number? And I'd love to send you more information about no, just kidding. They say yes. I say, perfect. And I just send them my host to post. I don't ask. I don't explain it. I don't say anything. I just say, awesome. Throw this post up on your wall. They get one customer. I'll send you some samples. If you get 5 customers, I'll send you a full-size product. And I send them my post, send them my picture, have them post it. Then people that comment, I message them and I say, hey girl, I saw you were interested in losing some weight. I'd love to send you more info. They say yes. I say, perfect. What's your number? I ask them their workout, about their lifestyle. Then I ask them what their budget is. And then I recommend from there. Short, simple, sweet. So if you ever have questions about host to post, you can message me or post in the team page or whatever. But I think that those are so important to be tapping in other people's networks, because you're eventually going to run out of warm market. You're not going to be able to grow your market fast enough as to how much you want to be working. You can't message as many people as you're following because they don't match up as much. So host to post is just a huge deal when it comes to this, because you're tapping into so many new people every single day that you wouldn't have been able to talk to without it. The next thing is Captivate. If you're not using Captivate, I just started like 2 weeks ago because I couldn't figure the freaking app out and it was too complicated, so I just didn't. And I'm mad at myself for waiting so long because I couldn't figure it out. So basically, I'm sure 90% of y'all use Captivate because I'm like late to the train. But I've been getting I'll do it and I'll just have 950,000 people to follow and then 950,000 people to unfollow. And I'll wake up to I woke up this morning with 101 follow requests. I used to do that organically. Do you realize how many? I used to get 2 follows back without Captivate. So do it. The next thing is I used to overcomplicate conversations so much. And I feel like as leaders, you kind of forget what works and what doesn't. And you're constantly changing things up, trying to find things that work. I think it's just so important to remember to always keep it so freaking simple. Like, so simple. Act like you're talking to kindergartners, because these people get so overwhelmed when you start vomiting information and you start vomiting the 90-day challenge and you do all of this. Literally, in my conversations that I went on vacation this weekend. I signed 12 customers in one day from post to post. And I kid you not, with all those people that I talked to, I maybe exchanged like 20 texts max, because it was just as simple, to the point, no extra information. I saved them time and I saved myself time. So I saved the entire conversations in my text replacement. If you don't use text replacement, you need to. So I just literally would message them, ask them their workouts, ask them their lifestyle, ask the budget, ask this. I always recommend Target Trio first, because I love those 3 products that are in it. If they can't afford that, I recommend Keto Coffee and Chocolate Greens, because I got my own results. So get your own results that you're able to share with people, because that will seal the deal faster than anything that you can ever have with words. A picture does 1,000 words when it comes to your own results. So making sure that you are getting those before and afters, you're using the products yourself, and you're keeping the conversations so simple. Like, I don't explain the 90-day challenge. I tell them how much it is for the 90-day challenge. 9 times out of 10, they say, do I have to order all 3 months? Can I just order once? And I say, no. In order to get my 40% off discount, 10% back in free product for me, you order once a month for 3 months, but you're not locked into that product or the shipment date. Done. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, awesome, great, love it, because they don't want to be locked in. So when you say you're not locked into your product or the shipment date, they're like, okay, awesome, I'm in. So that's literally like a phrase that has changed the game for me. So if you find tips that you love, share them with your team. So as a leader, it's so important to know that when things are working for you, they have to work for your team, because you want your team to be enrolling just as much as you are. So share the things that are working for you to your team instantly, so that they can start replicating that, because it's all about replication. So if you're doing it, your team does it, they do it all the way down forever. And then they learn to have their own things that work, because they see that you're constantly evolving to what you're doing. So Chrissy, you can go ahead and share your tips with us.
All right. So those are so good. Like, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how you're like so amazing at Hostibos. Like, please. I just need like unicorn magic for Hostibos. But like for me, I message everyone. If you're following me on Instagram, like, you're getting a message from me. My team knows I call myself a crazy ex-girlfriend, because I literally follow up with people like tomorrow. If I message them this morning, I'll probably follow up with them tonight. Like, I just message people nonstop. I unsend and resend like crazy. Unsend and resend is the best invention Instagram has literally ever given us. It's literally like an apology for putting like a follow limit. Unsend and resend is amazing. I discovered it last October when because I told you guys I started going crazy again, messaging people in June when I needed to promote. So by the time like October, November is rolling around, I was like, okay, well, I feel like I've messaged everyone. So I just started following everybody, messaging people as soon as I follow them, just trying to talk to as many people as possible. And then I'm like, okay, scrolling back in my inbox, and I see all these people I sent cold messages to over the summer who maybe they opened it, maybe they didn't, but they never responded. And I was like, okay, well, what are all these people doing? Like, there's like hundreds of people in here and no one's read my text. So I literally took it for myself to believe truly deep down in my heart that these people just straight up never saw my message. And I honestly convinced myself that Instagram never showed them that I even messaged them. So I have no problem. I have no shame. I do not care. I will unsend and resend a cold message to people probably like every 5 days or so, 3 to 5 days. I'll just unsend and resend cold messages nonstop. I don't care if they read it. I don't care if they haven't. I will unsend and resend it to them. Basically, unsend and resend just gives us like another way to like ping somebody's phone again. It's like another way to just like, ding, hey, I'm still here. Like, are you going to answer? Cool. So after that, I just have literally the same exact conversation with people over and over and over. And so whenever I bring new people onto my team, I say, listen, send this message. Here you go. This is exactly what I say. It's not anything different than what I am saying to everyone, literally. And I say, send this out to everyone who follows you. And when you get responses, I don't care what the response is. Screenshot it and send it back to me. I don't care if it's yes, no, maybe, no thanks, not interested, whatever. I don't care. Screenshot it and send it back to me, because I want to teach them how I respond, because I probably have like 4 responses that cover anything that somebody could say back to me. I keep it basically the same every single time. So I always try and like get it on track to be in the same flow. Like, I send them my cold message they say, oh yeah, that's something I'd be interested in. Oh great, what product are you most interested in? I'll read my full message to you guys too, just so you can like get an idea of what I say, because mine's like really long and like against the rules, but whatever, it works. Hey girlie, I hope I'm not bothering you. I usually let people message me, but you seem super sweet and you're gorgeous, so I figured it was okay to reach out to you. I'm looking for someone to try one product out for 3 months and give me a review of how you liked it. I have a spot open for our greens powder detox, our hair, skin, nails for hair growth, and our cleanse full body clean out. You'll get 40% off for helping me. Is this something you'd be interested in? And they say, yes, I'd be interested in that. I say, okay, great. Which product are you most interested in? And they'll either name one of those 3, or they'll say, which one do you recommend? Which one's best for weight loss? Which one's blah, blah, blah. If they say anything about weight loss, I'm like, oh, well, we have a whole weight loss line and blah, blah, blah. And then I'll just like spit some results out at them. Like, this is how I enroll, because sometimes people are like, well, how do you get customers other than those 3 products? That's how. But if not, they usually just pick something, just one of those things. And I'll say, okay, great. Give the explanation of whatever one they chose. Does that sound good? Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, great. This product, let's just say hair, skin, nails, normally $55, but it'll be only $33 for you each month as a 3-month tester for me. Sound good? Yep, sounds good. Okay, great. Send them my link immediately. And I want to say my success rate is pretty good. With people that respond to me and who are interested, I want to say I at least sign up 50%, if not a little bit more, right on the spot. And if not, then I obviously follow up with them nonstop until they block me or die. Like they're just getting follow-ups from me all the time. Constantly messaging people. Don't be scared to reach out to people multiple times. You are running a business, and this is yours. This is your baby. This is your life. Well, it should be your life if you're a leader. And you need to not feel bad to reach out to people multiple times. Target doesn't feel bad sending us 30 emails a day, even though we don't open them sometimes. We don't even like care what they're saying to us. Target knows that one day they're going to send us an email, and whatever discount code is in that email, it's going to be for something that we want. It might be 5 years from now, it might be 5 days from now, but they don't care. They're not going to stop sending out emails to us. So we need to stop feeling bad about following up with people, because it's our responsibility as the distributor to let these people know, hey, I have not forgot about you. I still have a spot open for you with my discount. Are you ready? Hello, let's get going. Question mark. Today was my question mark follow-up day. Like sometimes I'll just literally straight up send question marks to people. I also really love writing one follow-up. Just, I mean, it's like, I don't know, it doesn't matter. Usually I target some sort of like package that I'll like create myself. So if you guys haven't seen Laura Floyd's keto coffee and chocolate greens results, they're freaking nuts. You've probably seen them because everyone's sending them because they're crazy. So normally it'll be like something like, hey girl, I don't know if this is something you'd be interested in, but I just had to share these results with you. This is my good friend Laura. She's lost, X amount of weight the last 3 months using these 2 products, and I have a special running on them today to get them for 40% off with my 90-day challenge. Is that something you'd be interested in? I literally will send that to everyone. If they're a potential distributor, if they've never responded, like after 2 messages, if they never even really like said that they wanted chocolate greens or keto coffee, I don't care. I just share it with everybody. Same way Target would. Like, you may not have been looking at patio furniture on Target's website, but for some reason Target feels the need to send you like an ad on patio furniture. And maybe that's the day that you were like, wow, I was just thinking about how I really needed like a nice couch for my porch. Like, you have no idea. So just always reaching out to just people nonstop. And then my other tip is like kind of arbitrary, but it's like one of the most important things ever is to just have yourself in a place where negativity is not an option. Don't even allow it in your life, in your business, in your relationships, in anything that you're doing in life. You need to get the negativity out of it, because it's just going to fester and it's going to get into other parts of your life, and it's going to just start like taking you down, because that's just what negativity does. It feeds off of negativity. So when you are in a position where you are trying to promote, you're trying to, reach all these goals, you're trying to help your team grow, you need to also teach your team how to not encourage negativity by any means. It's just not necessary in your business. It's doing nothing for you. So sharing things that you see on social media that might be like talking down network marketing, sharing really negative responses that you get back, it's just not necessary. Just block the people and move on. You don't need to share these things, okay? You don't need to bring your negativity that you have into other people's lives as well, because it's just going to keep coming back to you. So just being super positive. What was the other thing I wrote? Oh, and because negativity is just like a black cloud of distraction, and we don't get anywhere when we're distracted. It's like kind of like a fact of life. Like you just can't get things done. You can't, stick to your goals when you're distracted. So when you are messaging people nonstop like me, you probably get a bunch of responses, and sure, some of them might be no's. Lots of them might be no's. It's kind of just normal. But when you are in such a state of mind where negativity is not even a thing, you cannot be bothered, no's do not even matter to you. You learn to, like, you don't even care anymore. Like you've seen one no, you've seen them all at this point, So it just does not matter. Don't focus on the 312 no's that you got today, but the 314th message that you sent out that was finally a yes, and that person signed up for a 200 BV order. You know what I mean? It's all just mindset, and that ability to not be like brought down by any sort of negativity, anything that happens, and just focusing on your end goal, remembering your end goal, remembering what you're trying to accomplish in that time. Because once you're in that sort of like mind frame and that state of mind where you can't be bothered, you just won't be. So yeah, that's pretty much it on that.
Love. Okay, so one of the last things that I want to talk about is promotions. So it's obviously 12 days before the end of the month, and all of y'all are pushing for promotions or pushing for a part of your team to promote, or whatever the situation may be. I have seen some crazy things happen in the last couple weeks of the months for people to promote. And I think that obviously the number one thing that, like, obviously you can't do at the end of the month, but I just mean overall, is be a consistent leader, guys. Stop working your business for 2 days and then falling off for 2 days or a week, and then coming back for a week, and then leaving for 4 days, and then posting consistently for a week. It's exhausting. It's exhausting for your team to not see that you're not being a consistent leader. It's exhausting for yourself because you're not enrolling and you're not promoting, and you're just in this constant cycle of being stuck. You have to be consistent, and that is the number one thing that anybody ever asks me in this business. They're like, what's your number one tip? It's to be consistent. So if you say that you're not enrolling distributors enough, it's because you're not posting live posts consistently enough. If you say that you're not enrolling customers enough, it's because you're not posting product posts consistently enough. If your team is not enrolling as much as you are, it's because you're not being a leader consistently enough. If you're not promoting fast enough or not promoting enough, it's because you're not doing anything consistently enough. This business is all about consistency. The only thing in this business that's going to be consistent is you. This business isn't going to be consistent. Sales are not going to be consistent. Distributor enrollments are not going to be consistent. Nothing will be consistent but you. You have to make sure that you are posting consistently, you're following consistently, you're doing everything that you should be doing, all of your daily non-negotiables, you're doing them every single day, all the time, because that's what's going to bring consistent results. So I think that so many times we get so frustrated and we're like, why are we not enrolling? And why are you just start playing the comparison game, and you look at other distributors and you're like, why are they doing so great and I'm not doing so great at all? What are you not doing? You have to look at the things that you're not doing enough of and that you're not putting your heart into. Like, guys, we can post really easily and just go through the motions and copy and paste, or you can put your heart into things and you can make vulnerable life posts that your team is going to, like, if you copy and paste, that's what your team is going to do. So the moment that you start putting your heart into posts and start talking about the times you didn't have money or couldn't pay your groceries or couldn't put food on the table or whatever your situation is, and maybe you don't have a sad, soppy story. Like, I don't necessarily have those because I hadn't even gone through life yet. I barely even graduated high school before I was thrown into something that I could make millions of dollars with. I don't have that story. But what I can do is talk about the things that I do with this business, that this business does give to me. So start being vulnerable in your posts and show your team that they can do that too. And start being consistent every single day so that your team can be consistent. Because the moment you start falling off is the moment your entire team falls off. And that's the moment that you start being an angry leader. And then your team starts quitting and they start falling apart and you start falling apart, and there went your business just because you stopped being consistent. So making sure that you're being a consistent leader and doing the things that you're supposed to be doing every single day. And then there you'll start seeing leaders start popping up in your team and start doing the things that you were doing because you taught them how to do it just by them watching you. You may not have even had to say anything. It was just what your actions were doing and showing them that by doing these simple things every single day and just doing what you're supposed to be doing, that your team will start doing the same and promotions will start flooding in over and over. You'll start seeing leaders pop up. And I wanted to talk about some things that we learned at the retreat because me and Chrissy were there and we got to be surrounded by so many amazing people. And I just wanted to talk about some of my aha moments, and I wanted her to share some of hers. The number one thing that stuck with me was we had just got off the call with Pam, and Jade was sitting there, and Jade was like, you know what? And this is something that I've done so much. That's why I was so happy that she said it. When we look at our charts, so imagine the promotion that you're going for right now. So I have my triple chart sitting here, and there's still empty boxes on my triple chart. And she was like, when you're building a promotion and you have this diamond that's not working or an emerald that's not working or whoever isn't working on your chart, it's so easy for all of us to sit there and stare at all these people that are not working and sit here and say, oh, I'm building this person. And I'm so tired of building this leg and they're not working and I'm placing into this dead leg. This promotion is your promotion. And when you're building legs and you're filling your chart and you're building it for these promotions, you're building your promotion. So it doesn't matter if these people are not working, because she was talking about how she built this diamond that wasn't working, and there was Sarah Neerman, triple diamond at the bottom. She was building this person that wasn't working, and there she found Morgan, an ambassador diamond that's on her team now. She was building this leg that wasn't working, and she found Ashley Mirth that popped 14 ambassador diamonds that are amazing on her team. All of these legs she was building and she was placing for these promotions, and no one was working. And here at the very bottom, she finds these amazing distributors that take her business to a completely different level. So when you're building these promotions and you're looking at these boxes and you have parts of your promotions that are not working, and you sit there and focus on all the work that you're doing that your team isn't, that's when all those negative things start coming in and you start saying, oh, well, I'm building this myself and I'm doing this myself. You never do a promotion by yourself. You're always being helped by those 400 boxes and those ruby legs and wherever it is, because they're helping you reach your promotion and you're helping them reach theirs. So stop focusing on all the things that you haven't done and all the volume that's not being filled and all the boxes that are empty, and start focusing on the people that are helping you get to your promotions and that you are helping reach their promotions that are working, and realizing that the work you're putting into your promotion is your promotion. And all those boxes that are empty, if you fill your triple chart, get out a presidential chart and stop filling that, because those boxes are what motivate you to fill the boxes and fill the charts and fill those promotions. So making sure you're working your business consistently, filling those charts, and stop focusing on the things that you haven't done and start focusing on the things that you have done. All the people that you've helped, all the customers you've helped lose weight, all the promotions you have reached, all the customers you have enrolled, and start focusing on what you need to do and all the work that is to be done. But don't look at it as a negative thing. Look at it as, oh my gosh, I have all this work to be done, but one of these days I'm going to be making $36,000 a month as an ambassador diamond that would have taken me 40 years to do in corporate America job. And I went live in our team page just talking about how we have to appreciate what we have and making sure that we're getting it out there, because what we have is something that nobody else will ever be able to have unless you give them that opportunity to do. So, Chrissy, can you share your aha moments from the retreat?
Oh, God, yeah. So my favorite thing ever is, okay, so picture this, you guys. We're all sitting on this big couch together, all like 30 of us or whatever. And Jade comes in and she says, oh, we've got a phone call. So Pam Satter decided she was going to FaceTime us and just kind of like give us this like super intimate, private, just like session of life, basically, where Jade was able to say to her, like, I brought all these girls to this house and I asked them what they needed from this. Like, what did they need to take away from this? And we had basically decided, you know, here we are in this room with all these like top incomers and all these girls who are triple and above. And then, you know, there's a handful of us doubles and diamonds there who are like, whoa, like we're with all these like really amazing humans. Like, how do we get to triple? Like, we want triple so bad and we're willing to do anything to get there. What do we need to do? And there was a couple of us who've been struggling with going triple for like 2+ years now. People have been trying to go. And so we basically just said to Pam, like, listen, there are some diamonds and doubles in this room who really want to get to this next level. What do we have to do to get there? Like, what is your advice for us on like going triple? And she said, just go. And we were like, and she was like, yeah, it's not your job to take anyone with you. They will come. You get yourself to where you want to go. If you want to go triple, just go triple. But then she said, listen, when you're so focused on just going triple, you're so focused on any one promotion, the next promotion, you are limiting yourself. You are forgetting about presidential. You're forgetting about ambassador. You're forgetting about black diamond. You're forgetting about, any promotion that's further from what you're trying to achieve. And therefore you're building this, invisible glass ceiling on your success. So don't limit yourself is basically just what I took from this retreat, is to stop being held back by people who aren't working on your team. Stop being held back by your like crappy negative mindset. Stop being held back by your schedule, by your excuses, by your family, by, your friends. Because if you have dreams and goals, if you have a dream board, and if you've got big things up there, if you've got a why that makes you bawl your eyes out at 3 a.m. when you are just exhausted and your eyes are falling out of your brain because you've been messaging for 6 hours straight and, haven't signed a customer. And when all these things are happening, like I said, the universe sees that, God sees that, and you will be rewarded for that. And you just need to understand that doing these things and putting all this work in will get you to where you want to go once you take the negative and take the excuses and take all these, easy way out aside of it. Because when you want to achieve something, when you want to achieve a goal, when you want to promote, when you want to do all these things, you have to be willing to sacrifice some things along the way. It's just what goes down. Because if you don't make any changes, all your tomorrows are going to look the same. And this is even in this business, if you limit yourself to, oh, I sent 100 messages out today like I do every day. And so now I'm done because it's 11 a.m. and I'm just done. And I've sent my 100 messages for the day. I've posted 3 times. So I'm done. I finished my task list. I'm done. Okay, then all your enrollments, your team, your growth, your paychecks, they're always going to look the same because you're not making any changes. You're not sacrificing anything. You're not putting that last little bit of effort you need to be putting in, and like your all your focus and your time and your energy into this. And I'm not saying like you have to be working your business literally 24/7, but I'm saying you have to want this in your promotion more than you want sleep, more than you want to go out for girls' nights and happy hour, more than you want to do things that don't make you money. Watch Netflix, watch mindlessly scrolling, watch any videos that are just like on YouTube, like things like that are not income producing, that are not building your business, that's not helping you get towards your promotion, is a distraction. And it's something that you just have to sacrifice, because if you don't sacrifice those things, your goal and your promotion is going to be what you sacrifice. And that's a tough pill to swallow when you think of it like that. So I think it's important to just realize that every time you catch yourself in a situation where you find yourself saying like, I could be working my business right now, that's a sign that you should be working your business right now. And realizing that, if you took every minute that you spent watching Netflix the last month and added that all up, if that amount of time was spent working on your business, would you have promoted? Do you know what I mean? So just from the VIP retreat, just learning that like, your goals do not have a glass ceiling above them unless you create one. And, by surrounding yourself with lots of distractions, by making excuses, by not putting in the necessary amount of time, effort, and personal development, you are building this glass ceiling on top of your goals and your promotions and things like that. So just learning to shadow that, just get rid of it. You don't need it. And yeah, that's pretty much.
Love it. But that was just another thing that I noticed at the VIP retreat, and that I told myself is there is room for you at the top. And noticing that everybody that was there was a normal human being. They were all normal, with kids, with like relationships, they were married, they were this, they were in college, they were that, they did this during this period of time, and they had this happen to them, and they did this, and everybody had their own story, but also everybody there, you couldn't even tell what rank they were. I'd ask them, or if I didn't know, because everybody was normal. Everybody is the same. They were all just there, and the difference between you and them was the amount of work that was put in to get there. And so I just want all of you that are on here to understand that there is room for you at the top, and that all of these promotions that you're working towards will eventually happen when you decide that they're going to happen, when you decide that you're going to be that leader for your team, and you're going to be that mass enroller that is ready, that is prepared, that's teaching their team everything that they need to know, and knowing that in your mind, you are an ambassador, you are already there, you just have to do the work to get there, and knowing that with the work you're putting in and all those sacrifices that Chrissy was talking about that you're making for those promotions will be so worth it when you start seeing those paychecks and you start seeing your team start doing those things that you got to go through. Like, I love that, like watching things that happen to me, even bad things, like things that are learning experiences, watching your team do them and knowing that you went through them because you were there and you were working your butt off, and you get to help them go through them too. So get those goals out, get those charts out, fill those charts, fill the volume, teach your team how to do the same thing, teach them replication, and those promotions will happen so fast. So I'm so happy that y'all got on this tonight. I hope that this helped y'all. I will post the recording, and I'm pretty sure Chrissy recorded it too for her team. So I'm so excited to see all these promotions happen, all these bonuses being earned this month, and I hope that y'all got something out of this. I hope you'll have a good night, and we will talk to y'all later on. So good night, y'all.